It took me 7 months to gain 1,000 followers, and it took me 3 hours to gain 2,000. I never pressed the go live button because I was too scared to do it. I'm an introvert. This is too hard. This is too scary for me. Everyone called me budget Saikuno. I embraced it. At that point, I had 1,000 followers on Twitch already. By the end of that day, I had 3,000. I was like shocked. And so I did it again. I just repeated the process. I did a TikTok live and I instantly grew from 1,000 followers to 10,000 within an hour. But that was when things get kind of dicey. They were there for thirst trap content. I was so confused by the differences in my chat. The parasocial was like too much to bear, trying to deal with all these people who were effectively trying to stalk me at some point. I realized over time I needed a system, mostly to like protect myself, but also importantly to protect my friends. My income at that point was completely dependent on the viewers who were there for my thirst traps. I didn't know what to do. I still don't really know what to do, honestly. The internet went out for 9 months. We had this giant storm in the Bay Area. It was crazy. You could see a fish if you walked out my place on the street. The income dramatically dropped. I was running off of savings for those 9 months. The reason I started the sticker company was because I didn't have the ability to stream anymore. Artist Alley is such a gray area when it comes to conventions that people overlook it. I was so scared of the idea of using another person's IP that I initially only made original IPs for my brand. I was unable to sell my own products. My degree is from traditional marketing. The only reason my brand gets any awareness is because I do so much anime conventions and whatnot. It's hard. I'm actually so much more busier than I ever have been. I'm home maybe 1 week out of the month. I want to try to keep up with content, but I also have my business I have to run. I got extremely sick. Went to the hospital 3 times in a year. I definitely want to work on like my physical health. I don't want to put myself in that position anymore. I wanted to be able to actually do everything properly this time. I think that would definitely make things easier, especially for me to like get out of debt and then hopefully be able to. I am a content creator, a business owner. I started streaming 4.5 years ago, and I started a small business 2 years ago.
So 2021?
2021.
So
yeah.
What were you doing before content?
Content, before that, I was just working a normal job. I had just graduated from college, and I worked a regular tech job because I live in the Bay Area. And then COVID happened, and all of a sudden, everything just kind of was unknown. You didn't know what to do. So I had all this free time. So I went for streaming.
Gotcha. If I remember correctly, your background was in marketing of some sort?
I graduated with a degree in marketing, and my initial plan was to find a entry-level job in marketing, but I started in the tech industry because it was just available at the time.
Yeah.
But then one thing led to another. Instead of going into a traditional marketing job, I started doing a lot of social media. And it ended up becoming more of a creator thing for myself than I initially thought. I went into marketing because I wanted to work for like an anime company or a gaming company and be part of their marketing team. And that didn't turn out as expected.
And that was because you were always like a part of the anime scene from what we talked about in the past, right?
Yeah.
Like when was your first anime convention?
In 2011. I went to Fanime in NorCal for the very first time in 2011 because at the time, my girlfriend at the time told me I should go to an anime convention because I like anime so much. Prior to that, technically I had gone to WonderCon in like 2004. Like when I was a really young child, my older brother brought me to WonderCon. And that was my first experience, but that was a comic book convention and I didn't realize there was anime conventions. So I went to Fanime for the first time in 2011. And I went ever since, actually. Early on, from 2011 to 2012, I went as an attendee. But in 2013, I decided I wanted to be a part of the community somehow. So I actually went and talked to several different vendors at Fanime and asked them if any of them needed an intern. After maybe 3 or 4 different vendors kind of like turned me down, one vendor said yes to me. They were willing to take me in as an unpaid intern. And I took the opportunity right away. So I started working for Fantastic Fam in 2013 as an unpaid intern, and he took me all across California. Actually, I did a lot of like SoCal events. I worked Anime Expo in 2013, and I did a lot of 626 night markets, and that's how I initially got into the scene as a vendor. So
okay. So when you said one thing led to another,
it really
was basically this like route of volunteering and going around at least like the West Coast for now.
Yeah.
That led you to deciding you don't want to work for a tech company. You want to start doing stuff within anime video games.
Exactly. It was early on after that internship that I knew I wanted to build my own thing, or I wanted to be in the space in some sort of way. So I always had a dream of building my own small business, but I didn't know how to go about it. So actually streaming was more of a means to build a small business versus wanting to be a content creator. Content creation actually was more of a means to the end. My end goal was actually to just start a business overall.
Oh, so you had the idea of being a business person first before creator. And what was like, did your ideas for what you wanted your business to be differ than what you're doing right now?
There's some overlap. Initially, I went to school for business, knowing that I wanted to start my own business or work in marketing for a business. It's always been something where I wanted it to be a side thing, actually. But my plan was that I wanted to make clothing because the first internship I had was for a clothing company. And he taught me the ins and outs of his business, which eventually I kind of transitioned into working for an anime hobby store. And that was when I started learning more about just commerce in general. So then it became a thing where I kind of combined all of the, I guess, all of the things that I was taught from the different jobs that I had I wanted to start just a brand in general.
Yeah.
Because I was in the scene for so long, and I thought, okay, I can do this. I can make a brand. I know how the market works. I can probably do something well with it, and I thought it would be a good side gig, actually. Because I always have been pretty ambitious. I wanted to do a lot of things. I wanted to work for an anime company or a gaming company, but I also wanted my small business on the side and be an entrepreneur. So I combined everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so how come you didn't pursue it like back then? Was it because of school? I think you were still in school at the time, maybe? Or was it just like you felt like you needed to learn more? Like it took you, I think, a while to kind of bring up WoWoCo. And I'm not even sure if you had the idea for WoWoCo back in the day or like it was going to be called that.
It was definitely not going to be called WoWoCo, or I didn't have a name for it in general, because initially my plan was to start a t-shirt brand. So actually, about, I want to say 7 or 8 years ago, I did have a friend who I talked about like all of these plans with, and we initially drew up plans for a business at that time. My first initial plan for a business was actually called Comfort Zone, which I never really talked about before, where it was a t-shirt brand based on a person's comfort level just in general. I wanted it to be a brand that kind of emphasizes that everybody has their own comfort levels amongst like social aspects. It was gonna be kind of similar to like MBTI, like how okay you are in certain situations, and I would have different shirts. It would be more text-based. And so it'd be like, oh yeah, are you an extrovert? Are you an introvert? Like how introverted are you kind of thing? Like what's your social battery level? I was gonna emphasize all of that in like a t-shirt brand.
Yeah.
But I don't have a lot of background in like art. So I couldn't really think of how to design it. I actually talked to Kenson about this. I actually came up to him with the idea and he helped me make a logo.
Oh.
He actually drew up like 20 different logo designs for me and said, here, try to see if any of these will work for you.
What year was this?
2016, I think, actually.
16, okay.
Yeah, 2016, 2017. No, it was 2017. 2017 to 2018 is when I came up with this idea. But I shelved it because I didn't have enough seed money and I couldn't come up with the proper like product. So I gave up on the idea and I shelved it. You know, you always come up with different business ideas, I guess. Like there's always something you want to try out and then you work on it for a little bit and you decide whether or not it works out. And if it doesn't, you just kind of like, you put it away. I think most people tend to come up with like at least a dozen different business plans before they finally settle on one. Or even, if anything, most people pursue several dozen business plans before one actually works. So, yeah.
Gotcha. And so what was the thought when you started on Twitch? Or did you start on Twitch? Actually, I didn't even ask.
I did start on Twitch. And funny enough, it was because of Kenson. I actually...
And was Twitch, like you said, it was kind of like a means to an end for your business? So like, did you start it because, you know, everybody went inside, or you thought maybe you'll figure out a way to promote your business on Twitch while you're streaming?
My thought process was that Twitch would be a good way for me to put out my business. Like it would be a really great marketing platform. But prior to that, the only reason I thought about Twitch in general is because I actually had been on some of Kenson's streams. I know I'm bringing him up a lot, but he really did he was like the catalyst for a lot of this. So he started streaming a while back, right at the early days of offline TV. Around that time, I had been visiting a lot, and so I was in the background for his streams, and he had taken me to meet them actually. So during that time, I noticed, okay, streaming's actually growing to be even bigger than it was before. I was always familiar with streams, like with Justin TV and everything back in the day, and I personally have had my Twitch account since like 2012, but I never saw myself as a creative on Twitch. I just thought, okay, I'm not like a pro gamer. I'm not like a talent, I guess, or I don't have anything that people follow me for, so I didn't think Twitch was a viable option for me. But as I saw more and more people just kind of do it, they just kind of just started from nothing and they were able to build something and build like an identity. I thought, okay, it's not that bad. It seems doable.
Yeah.
So I thought, why not try it out? But I didn't actually, I didn't press the go live button until many years later. I actually bought a mic, I bought a webcam, just the bare minimums. And I thought, okay, I can do this. I set up an OBS and everything. And I never pressed the go live button because I was too scared to do it. I'm an introvert, right? And so I struggled with the idea like I would have to somehow entertain all these random people I don't know.
Yeah.
Or just even the thought of trying to think of content. Like I have no background in this space. Like I have a background as a salesman. I've worked retail for like 12 plus years. I've gone to many different anime events, gaming events and everything. So I'm used to seeing people. But the idea of trying to entertain people behind a screen, I have no one to bounce off of. I'm just, quote unquote, a one-man show. I couldn't think about how I would go about doing that. So it wasn't until the help of many different friends who heard me talk about my story over and over, saying like, I want to do this, I want to do that. I'm thinking streaming would be a great idea, and they're like, just do it. Why are you so afraid? Just press the go live button. You have it set up. You have a camera, a mic, and everything.
Yeah.
You know how to play games. You don't have to be good at games. Just play the game. I'm like, yeah, but what if people say I suck? Like, everyone sucks. There's like 1% of Twitch that actually knows how to play the game they're playing, And I was like, I can't do this. This is too hard. This is too scary for me. And they're like, why are you so scared? And I never pressed the go live button. But it wasn't until one day I was just randomly playing, and there wasn't even any build up to this. I was playing TFT with several friends. You know him actually, Robert.
Oh yeah. Photographer Robert?
Richard's the photographer.
Oh, Richard's the
Robert's
photographer.
the brother.
Oh, okay. I thought they both did photo.
Oh, he kind of does.
Okay.
He actually got his own like Leica camera, I think. So he basically, I was playing TFT with them.
Yeah.
He was like, David, I know you want to stream. Press the go live button. I'll go live with you. I'm like, it's scary. He's like, no, just do it. Don't worry about it. Like, I'll go live with you. We'll be streaming. I'll get my friends to jump on the stream. Don't worry, you'll have viewers. Because I was scared of like, oh, what if there's only like one person and that one person's me, He was like, no, just do it. Just go live. So out of nowhere, I pressed the go live button. No intro screen. I had like 2 scenes. I didn't have a background. Back then, I didn't have the folding frame either. You could just see my bed.
Yeah.
Like no lighting or anything. I just went live. And it blew up. The very first stream blew up, actually. It was crazy. So Robert's friends joined in. And then my friends who had already been friends with me on Twitch saw that I went live. So they came and joined the stream. So
really quick, are these the friends from like the anime gaming scene that you met throughout your time at the conventions?
Yes.
Or these aren't like IRL, like friends from college or school, right?
No.
So they kind of know this world already.
They don't know that I wanted to stream. They're friends with me in general. And
Gotcha.
They saw that I went live. I think actually, I remember I did post it on Facebook.
Yeah, okay.
I posted on Facebook and on Instagram that I went live.
Yeah.
And I had like 15 to 20 viewers on the first day, just purely because all my friends came by like, oh my God, wow, big streamer. I can't believe you're streaming and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, wow, this is embarrassing. But I ran with it. We played games and I streamed. And then I just kept going.
Yeah.
From the first day that I streamed for about 2 years, I streamed every single day. So I kept streaming and streaming. I hit affiliate within the first 7 days.
Oh.
I met more people through streaming just within the first week. And because this is pandemic, everybody's just at home. And this was the height of pandemic where nobody could go out still. So I suddenly was just playing games and all of my friends were watching and there at the same time. And my friends who had already become streamers prior to me, they started joining in and rating me as well. So it became like one big community online. It felt like I was at a con. I was having convention vibes, but during my Twitch streams. So I started to really enjoy it and thought, oh wow, it felt nice. It was like a sense of normalcy
Yeah.
during COVID. So I just kept streaming. I was having fun with it. There wasn't any thought process, even though I wanted to stream to build a business, I was streaming for fun. And that led to me learning how to build the stream better, be a better streamer or work on content. And it just kind of like snowballed.
Right. What were some of the things that you learned how to do over time that, you had to start from scratch, right? Like you didn't know anything about, well, you watch streams, but then like building it yourself is very different.
I actually started studying. So during that time, I was working full-time. So I was working from home.
Remote job, right?
Remote job, yeah. I was working full-time, but on the side, I would have like a laptop playing Harris Heller videos. I basically binge watched his entire YouTube channel within like a month. So I kept watching and like learning how to stream, like what kind of gear would be great for like this and that. I learned how to properly set up my audio and lighting. I just kept learning as much as I could. And slowly, I just kept upgrading my stream. Within the first 2 months, I went from having like a snowball, from the Blue Yeti line to, I moved up to a...
Is it the Shure?
I think I moved up to the Shure right away, actually.
SM7V?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I had a lot of early supporters. And so like literally on the day I hit affiliate, before I knew I hit affiliate, a friend dropped 50 subs, like gifted subs, right? On the first 10 minutes, just out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And then that sparked my other friends to do the same. So another friend dropped 100, like 2 minutes after that friend did. Then another friend dropped another 25. And so I had more subs than I had followers in the first hour of streaming.
Jeez.
Or first hour as an affiliate.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was kind of wild. I genuinely was like starstruck. I was like, what's going on? I don't know if starstruck's the right word for it, but I was just so bewildered. I was like, oh my God, guys, this is a lot of money. Why are you guys just dropping subs? They're like, yo, congratulations on hitting affiliate. And I just remember just being extremely grateful, and also the thought process was like, okay, I have to do well. I have so many people supporting me.
So this was kicked off the studying.
And that's when I started really pushing for streaming in 2020? 2021, actually, I guess.
21, right? You said you started during 21.
No.
Or end of 2020.
End of 2020. I started in October of 2020.
Yeah.
And within the first few months in 2020, I blew up.
Gotcha. Okay, so what was it like streaming then versus now?
There definitely was a huge difference because everybody was home because of COVID. So I actually started out having an average viewership of like 30 to 40 pretty easily.
Yeah.
But as,
started going
restrictions were
outside.
lifted
Yeah.
and people stopped going to Twitch, I started having like maybe 50% drop in viewership. And that's when things started getting a lot more difficult because, you're so used to like seeing certain numbers and you start to think that, okay, things are dropping, you're doing something wrong, so you're trying to compensate and try to build up. That's when streaming went from being more fun to being a little bit more stressful. I was thinking, oh my God, like I'm failing, quote unquote. Like that was the thought process.
Because you started off with such a high.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it was hard because I didn't know what to do. I guess I was so like babied by the idea that like I would always have like a set amount, right? I didn't know what to do. And so I kept trying different things. I kept exploring different types of content. That was when I started posting on TikTok, actually.
So TikTok was what year?
2021.
So okay.
Still, it was 7 months into my streaming career.
Right.
So around that time, 7 months in was like mid 2021, and restrictions were starting to be lifted around that time.
Yeah. That's
So-
when TikTok was actually starting to blow up because
Exactly.
I think that was the year I also got on TikTok, and I
Mm-hmm.
remember that was like the start of a lot of like dance trends and
Exactly.
TikTok music kind of blowing up. I remember like
Yep.
Renegade being like a thing, the dance. Do you remember Renegade? Or the song The Box?
I
Were
vaguely
we on different
remember it.
algorithms? 'Cause,
Maybe,
yeah,
maybe. I vaguely
I'm
remember it.
Yeah, I was a dancer, so I just had like a
That's
lot
right.
of like dance content. I love hip hop music, so I saw a lot of like those trends, and I was like, dang, TikTok's like really cool, and it was popping off, and everybody was using it. And so, what kind of content did you decide to do when you were there? Was it still like kind of what the meta is right now, sharing clips of your Twitch stream, or did you decide to make original content from the get-go?
So the funny thing is, I didn't have a thought process going into TikTok. I actually didn't do it with the intent to build my streams at all. I made a TikTok account because someone just told me I should. I actually was already posting stuff on Instagram, but I was only posting pictures, being, with the idea that everybody only posted pictures at the time. I started making videos on TikTok just randomly. I followed trends. I did those like before and after, like you show a picture of you in high school and then you show a picture of you now.
Oh yeah.
I was doing that stuff because I thought, oh, this is kind of fun. Like I get a lot of people telling me like, oh my God, the difference between you in high school and now is like so huge. You should just like post it. I'm like, okay. So I did that stuff.
Yeah, it is.
It's
I-
kind of weird. I'm not
When I
gonna
did
lie.
research for this podcast, I encountered that picture. You know, you had the spiky hair,
Oh,
the
my
really bad
God.
lighting.
Yeah.
With the glasses.
The glasses were
Yeah.
they were a trend back then.
Really quickly, when was that shift to like get colored hair to, I don't know, did you perm your hair?
No.
No? Okay, so your hair is just naturally like that, which is really
Naturally,
nice.
yeah.
But like, yeah, color your hair, dress nicer, start wearing a lot of like, jewelry and accessories and stuff like that.
It all came in waves, definitely in waves. But it wasn't until college when I started going to an actual like barber. Before that, I was getting like the cheap $8 haircuts in Chinatown or something like that.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
just whatever
Every
you
Asian
could get.
kid like had that cheap like $8 to $10 haircut.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like you had the regular buzz cut, or you had like the kind of somewhat messy fringe, but it wasn't really the greatest looking.
Right.
It wasn't until college when I started getting proper haircuts. I started switching over to contacts, and that was when people started noticing a shift in my image. People would be like, "Oh my God, wait, David, you're borderline attractive. In high school you were just a nerd. You were just the nerd that everyone picked
Borderline
on.
attractive, that's crazy.
They were like, wow, wait, you look so much better without glasses on. I was like, wait, really? So I started wearing contacts.
Do you think that helped you grow on Twitch and also on TikTok at the time for 2021, since your like image and your style was kind of already established somewhat?
A little bit. I'd say like by the time, so 2016 is when I started dyeing my hair. And I haven't gone back to natural black hair since. So it's been almost 10 years
Yeah.
since I've had like my natural hair color. And people always knew me as the guy with like some type of colored hair, like
Yeah.
silver hair or blue hair or purple hair, whatever. And so actually, fun fact, when I started streaming on Twitch, because during that time we couldn't get haircuts, my hair was growing out. So that was actually the most of my natural hair you would ever see.
Yeah.
And because of Twitch, I decided to dye my hair again. I was actually initially planning to go back to natural hair during COVID. I thought,
Yeah.
all right, this is the time, we can't go to barbers. My dyed hair is finally growing out.
So you can just cut it and
just
then
cut it.
your hair will come back. Yeah.
Exactly. And I thought, this is the time. This is when I'm going to finally go back to natural hair. And then I started streaming on Twitch. And I thought, maybe I should keep dyeing it for the sake of, being more likable on Twitch or something like that.
Right.
Or
like if you're
social
going to be a
media.
public figure, it's kind of easier to stand out when there's like standout features about you, like hair color.
Exactly. Yep. So I just kept going. I kept dyeing my hair. I was supposed to stop. So it definitely played a big deal. Actually, if anything, one of the biggest reasons why I blew up on Twitch in the beginning was because Sykkuno was blowing up on Twitch.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have the thing where people think you look like Sykkuno.
Everyone called me budget Sykkuno.
Yeah.
I was either dollar store Sykkuno, Target Sykkuno, Costco Saikuno. I
No
got
Wish?
it all. Huh?
Wish?
Wish Saikuno. I was called Wish
yeah.
Saikuno. It was pretty bad. I was riding his coattails. Genuinely, I was basically riding his coattails. People would come into my stream and say, you know, you give me the same vibe as that one streamer. I'm like, Saikuno? Like, yeah, him. Like, yeah. But then people would say, but your voice doesn't sound like him. You sound like Toast, but you look like Saikuno. So people were combining them into me. And then they were like, yeah, I like your vibe. You have like Saikuno's vibe, Toast's voice. You play games. You're kind of funny. You look like pretty good. And
Yeah.
that's how I got my
Talking
viewers.
about it after the fact, it's funny.
Yeah.
But during it, was like, did that bother you?
It definitely bothered me a lot in the beginning. I felt so bad about it because like I wanted to be known for myself.
Yeah.
And nobody would take me seriously. You know, I would say like, look, my folding screen in the background, it has like a design on it. It's like Kuno's one is just plain white. Or like, you know, I have colored hair. He doesn't, you know, stuff like that. There's things I was trying to find to differentiate between me and him, and nobody cared. They were just more jumping along the ride saying like, no, you're like Saikuno Jr. or something like that. And it just stuck. You know, people were just gonna constantly call me that. And I said, you know what? It's kind of helping me. So
You embraced the meme?
I embraced it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you still came out as like your own person at the end of the day, even though you get mistaken for Kenson too.
That's a whole nother thing.
It's just the silver.
it's the Asian way, I guess. We're gonna get mistaken for other people no matter what.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. No, there's this character called Smoke. His name is Smoke in Mortal Kombat. When they showed the recent version of Smoke, dude, Patrick and I were like, "Is that David? Dude, that looks like David."
Oh my god! I think I remember you vaguely saying this to me. I think Patrick said it first too, actually.
It's the Asian way.
It's crazy because like my friends were in Taiwan. They saw this like, you know, like busker. Is that what they're called? The people who like sing on the street. They saw this guy singing on the street. He had the same haircut as me, same build, same height, and he looked kind of similar to me. He's like, dude, David, you're in Taiwan singing? I'm like, what the heck? It was crazy. There's literally, everyone has a doppelganger. I am convinced everybody has at least one doppelganger in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You seen that episode of How I Met Your Mother? They were basically trying to look for doppelgangers. It's a whole thing. So
okay.
I believe in the theory.
Yeah, yeah.
Everybody has a doppelganger.
Definitely.
Yeah. So you were on TikTok. You started making content. The first one, or like one of the first ones, was a comparison of before and after. And nowadays, you're kind of known for like making a lot of content with your looks in it, at least like on TikTok and Instagram. Is that kind of like, was it the reception that you got from that video like kept that train going, or was it like something else that you saw that made you want to do more like thirst trappy content in the beginning?
So it definitely was the reception I got from the high school to now video. It was, initially I made like maybe 20 to 30 different TikToks. All of them were different. I was just like testing the waters. I was just making videos for the sake of making videos.
Yeah.
I was trying out different content just for fun because I thought, okay, maybe I had no background knowledge in making videos at that point. I thought, okay, if anything, I'm just gonna copy a bunch of different trends, different video types, and see what works for me. Because obviously I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
And the one video that hit was the high school to now video. That one, it blew up. You know, I had like maybe 50 followers on TikTok, and then that video got me 1,000 followers. Everybody instantly started commenting this and that. It also helped that at that point in time, BTS was like kind of at the, you know, their peak in popularity. So people actually compared me to like BTS. I don't see it myself, but at that period of time, a lot of people compared me to Jungkook from BTS. And so they were like, oh, wow, you look like Jungkook, blah, 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 or something like that. And I ran with that too. So quite literally, I wrote the coattails of every other popular Asian out there. But it worked. For the most part, I started getting a lot of comments saying like, oh, wow, you know, you're really attractive, blah, blah, blah. And I ran with it. So then I started looking for more content that was similar. So I started looking up like different videos that Asians did actually. That's when I started making the more thirst trappy content. I wasn't looking for thirst trappy content. I was just looking for videos that other Asian guys did. And I copied them. But it just so happened to be more thirst trappy. And we just kind of ran with it.
So mentally, like, how does someone who is an introvert start making those videos? Because I would say at times you even called me more extroverted than you, which I'm not sure about that. Maybe there are times where we're at conventions.
Absolutely more extroverted than me.
But
100%.
I can't even like get myself to make that kind of content, you know. And I'm not like roasting you or anything. I'm just it's really like brave to be able to put yourself in a like portray yourself in a way that you aren't normally. And you said that's kind of a problem too that you had sometimes where people think you're one way when you're a completely opposite person in real life.
So that kind of stems from my comment about being ambitious. I wanted to do a lot of things. I actually, early on, I wanted to be like an Instagram model, like just for fun.
Yeah.
And so like, I started copying like fashion trends, and that's why I did my hair a certain way. I wanted to do photo shoots, and I just wanted to look cool.
Yeah.
I think the root of it all was just that I wanted to do cool things. So I wanted to be like an Instagram model for fun. There was no like, nothing, oh God, sorry. I didn't have any like thought process behind it. I just wanted to do it. So I already did a lot of photo shoots prior to all of this.
Right.
Just with friends, just for fun.
Yeah. And you
And-
modeled for some brands too, right?
That was after, actually.
That was after.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I did photo shoots for fun, just to post on Instagram. Actually, no, you're right. I did do like maybe one or two for a different friend, because they were like, "Oh, you already do photo shoots. You might like, would you like to model?" I'm like, "Sure, I'm down."
Right. You're tall too.
Yeah.
So it helps.
It helped a lot. Yeah. So I wanted to do things like that for fun. Although in reality, my own personality is like, I don't want to do anything. I don't like going out. It's kind of scary to talk to new people. Going to parties is really overwhelming. So I like to be a wallflower. I don't drink very much either. Like I'm not a good drinker. So I'll get like one cup and I'll sip it throughout the whole night. Like that's my personality.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever drank with you.
No.
Yeah.
Because I don't like to drink.
Yeah.
Yeah. I only drink socially at events. Like, where everyone's getting a drink, and it makes more sense if you're grabbing a drink at the bar with your friends. But I'm sipping that same drink the whole night.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's more for the social status. I just try to look the part as best as I can. A lot of people think I'm a partier. It is so far from the truth. Yeah. But yeah, no, because I wanted to do all these things, despite being an introvert, there's things I wanted to do. I wanted to look cool.
Yeah.
So I was able to do these things purely because like, all right, it's not that hard, or it's not a big transition from already doing photo shoots. I was like, I can make videos like this. I am confident enough about my my angles with a camera, like a selfie camera,
Yeah.
that I can do this. That's why.
Oh, we've seen you. You're actually like good at it. Like we meme you, but like you're really good.
It's funny because like I watch the BTS videos that you guys take, and I'm
Yeah.
like, well, even I'm surprised that I instantly look different the second I start trying to record something.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow.
Like even
okay.
that 1 second there, like I see it.
There's like a very noticeable change, and I was
Yeah.
like, wow, I didn't know there was that big of a difference. I thought it was all the filters in my camera, but you can genuinely see kind of a shift in my facial features, and like I know exactly where to place like my eyes and everything for recording something.
Yeah, it's through repetition. You got
Yeah.
really good at that. And now there's like a split, right? There's like the streamer you, then there's like the TikTok you. Like, how did those two worlds collide?
So because I started doing TikTok and I hit 1,000 followers really quickly, I got access to TikTok Live. So I thought, okay, I'm just give TikTok Live a try. No thought process behind it. I just thought it would be fun to do since I already stream on Twitch. So I did a TikTok Live, and I instantly grew from 1,000 followers to 10,000 within an hour.
Wow, holy crap.
That's that first
right, I
TikTok
remember back
Live.
then they were like really like pushing for that feature and it was new.
Exactly. So I had like, I think I did hit like maybe almost 100,000 viewers. As in like, that's how many people cycled through that live.
Yeah.
And so I had tons and tons of people coming in, and I was basically just kind of talking as if I was streaming on Twitch. I was like, hey, what's up? Welcome to the stream. And I was like, oh, hey, nice to meet you. I went through all the comments and I talked to everybody. And my TikTok blew. Like
Yeah.
it just blew up.
You had an advantage because you're so used to being on stream already.
Exactly. So at that point, I was just like, oh, this is easy. And I just kept doing it. The very first stream blew my account up to 10,000. And I told everyone at the end, it was like, oh, yeah, I'm going to be streaming on Twitch after this if you guys want to come along. I didn't even have the thought process or the knowledge behind it beforehand that you could do that.
Yeah.
I just said, I'm going to stream on Twitch. And everybody just came over. So at that point, I had 1,000 followers on Twitch already. By the end of that day, I had 3,000.
Shoot.
I just blew up, and I was so flabbergasted. I just sat there like, This was one day. It took me 7 months to gain 1,000 followers, and it took me 3 hours to gain 2,000. I was like shocked. And so I did it again. I just like repeated the process. I streamed more on TikTok, and I converted them to Twitch followers. But that was when things get kind of dicey. The thing is, when I started doing that, prior to that, all of my viewers were there for my gaming content. But because on TikTok, my content was the thirst trappy content,
Yeah.
that was when the world started to collide, and I didn't have a handle on it anymore. I started getting all of my TikTok followers to follow me on Twitch. But the problem is, 80% of those followers made new Twitch accounts. They weren't Twitch viewers to begin with. They were all TikTokers. So they didn't even know what Twitch was.
So you converted a bunch of people onto the platform.
To Twitch.
Yeah.
Yeah. But because they were there to see me as a person and not just to play games or anything. I mean, you get the idea. They were there for thirst trap content. I was so confused by like the differences in my chat. I had the core group I initially had who was there for all of my gaming antics and my Twitch persona in general. Then I had this whole new giant group of people who were here just to watch me be a cute Asian boy, I guess.
Yeah.
So I was like, I had to do more just chatting at that point. I started switching up my content. I did more just chatting streams than I did gaming streams.
Yeah.
So then my initial gaming viewers started slowly, not showing up because obviously they're there to watch me game.
Right.
Whereas all of the new just chatting streamers, they're there like, oh yeah, we love getting to know you and stuff like that. And they were here to talk and chill.
A continuation of your TikTok lives.
Yeah. And that's when things started to be hard. I was juggling two different audiences.
Now, off camera, off stream, like, was that something that like you were just thinking about all the time and kind of confused about like what to do now?
Because at that point in time, I had already dealt with some parasocial problems here and there. But once that happened, it was huge. The parasocial was like too much to bear.
Right.
I was burning out from trying to deal with all these people who were effectively trying to stalk me at some point. Some people tried to.
Yeah, and when we became friends in, I think the end of 22 or maybe the beginning of 23, it was like one of the things that you told me about that was a problem.
Yeah.
Which is why you wanted to start transitioning out of like doing thirst trappy type content.
Exactly.
But it's hard though, right? Because like that's, I know that you were able to get some like, what was it? Not necessarily like brand deal, like you got brand deals from it, but also TikTok had the feature where you were able to monetize off of like your videos, and
Yes.
so it's kind of difficult from like a mental and financial perspective. If I stop this, all these numbers would go away,
Exactly.
and like that's scary to anybody because it's a change of like being high and then now you're like low again. Exactly what happened from when COVID got better and people started going outside, you went from, average of like maybe 40 viewers down to like 20 something.
Yep.
Yeah.
And at that time, I started doing Instagram at the same time too, Instagram Reels. And because I was just reposting the videos from TikTok, I had established myself as the same type of creator on Instagram as like a quote unquote thirst trap / just another Asian Instagrammer, I guess.
Yeah.
And that's why it was hard for me to jump out of it because my then viewers on Twitch were that group. So if I started transitioning to gaming, I was going to lose the only edge I had. And that's why I couldn't really do it. And I think around that time was when I lost my job. So I was fully dependent on my stream income. And because my income at that point was like completely dependent on like the viewers who were there for my thirst traps, it was like, oh, I couldn't just transition without
Because those same
worrying.
people would donate to you when you did donathons or
Exactly.
sub to you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I was stuck in a hard place. I didn't know what to do. I still don't really know what to do, honestly. I mean,
Is that kind of what kicked off or like, kind of like, lit the fire in you saying like, oh, something has to change, and so that's why you wanted to do more sticker stuff like nowadays? That contribute towards your action towards that?
it definitely contributed, but then the reason I started the sticker company was because I didn't have the ability to stream anymore.
Oh, your internet went out.
The internet went out for 9 months.
Yeah.
We had this giant storm in the Bay Area, thunderstorms. There was like atmospheric rivers going down the roads. There's even fish in the roads, actually. It was crazy. Like you could see a fish if you walked out my place on the street.
Wow.
Yeah. That's not that important. TLDR, because the storm was going on for so long, and because it had like built up so much water. I live in a really old place. It's
Right.
like an old building built in the 30s.
So infrastructure issues.
Very bad. It doesn't have cable access, so I can't use fiber internet. I can't use cable internet. I use phone line internet. I use DSL.
Yeah.
But because the water had basically waterlogged all of the wires underneath the ground, and like I guess it short circuited or disconnected something, they could not fix my internet without digging up the ground to fix up the wires. And they needed permits from the city to do that, and needed all these paperwork to do. And so they didn't get it done until 9 months later.
Right. And so you could only rely on either IRL streaming on your phone on Twitch or stream on TikTok or Instagram, right? Like you had to choose a platform at that point because you can't multi-stream.
With just your phone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I streamed on TikTok, which, you know, the income like dramatically dropped. I was running off of savings for those 9 months. And so during that time, I kind of took a break. I definitely traveled a lot more during that time when I didn't have internet.
What was that, 23?
2023.
Yeah.
That was when I went to PAX West, I went to TwitchCon and everything.
That's what I think. That's like when we saw each other like the most that
Yeah,
year because we were just like everywhere together.
Yep.
Yeah.
I went to all these events and there was no like, you know, business mind going through my head when I went to them. I just went to enjoy them. You know, I did meet people. I did do like creator stuff, quote unquote. But everything was just me enjoying that time period. But because my funds were running really low,
Yeah.
that was when I thought I needed to make something happen. There has to be a change in my lifestyle to make income. It was either I found another job or I just went for another passion project just out of nowhere.
Right.
So just very much like Twitch, that just kind of happened out of the blue. I just asked a bunch of different artists that I was friends with, and I started trying to work with a brand idea. That was actually when you and I started talking about trying to think of a name for my brand.
Oh, on this couch.
On this couch, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was when we were just happened to be here at the same time. So I gave you all these ideas I had for naming and like what I wanted to do with the brand and the whole like story behind it. And then I just did it.
Yeah.
I just jumped straight into it, made WoWoCo, started out with a couple designs, and I've been nonstop grinding it for the last 2 years.
Well, so what is the story behind the name WoWoCo?
WoWoCo was decided upon after failing to come up with a legitimate name for like 3 weeks straight. I actually wanted to make something centered around Asian American culture, but I also wanted it to be unique to me. And so because there are so many different names, like we were thinking at some point to name it like the Golden Monkey or something like that. I forgot.
Yeah.
We had a lot of different ideas because I'm born in 92. And so 92 is the year of the monkey. And so we thought, okay, that could kind of work because then my last name is Wong. And so Wong means yellow. So we thought, yellow monkey, and then make it sound cooler, golden monkey, that could work out. But we were thinking of all these different like concepts and ideas and we couldn't really finalize on one because I was thinking, man, if I just named it something random, I could do it, but there wouldn't be like a really big story behind it. After coming up with a bunch of different names, we started to think about it and tried to make it simple. So WoWoCo was just an idea that like popped in my head because I thought, okay, what if we just made it rhyme with my name? Because WoWoWong is my username, and WoWoCo would be like, oh, it's kind of similar enough where like, you know, people could make the connection between that and like my username.
Yeah, because WoWo.
Exactly. And then the idea was like Co, I named it, it's KO instead of CO.
Yeah.
But the concept is like, okay, Co could mean 3 things. It could mean WoWo company.
Yep.
It could mean WoWoCo as in like Co as in child. So it's like the brand is my child.
Oh, that okay, yeah.
Yeah, because then it's KO because KO is the English translation for ko in Japanese for like child. And then what was the third one? I actually forgot the third one. I had 3.
Somebody come up with it.
Just fill in the blank. You'll get it. But there was 3 ideas, and I thought, okay, this is pretty simple. So I ran it by you and Winnie. I think I ran it by Winnie first, and then Winnie was like, I like the idea. It sounds really good. It's very you. Like it's your thought process too. So if you talk about it, you can easily just kind of like ramble on about it. And
You're right. That was the main reason why I think we decided to go there because we were like, oh, it's like very you. It came from you.
And it was like, yeah, unique to you. It's like branded. It works. We'll just do it. Let's run with it. So I just came up with it. And we just built it around, it was because the mascot was also a wolf cub. Because my Twitch mascot is a wolf.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the reason why the Twitch mascot is a wolf is a whole nother story, but the TLDR is that my Twitch theme or concept was urban lone wolf status kind of thing. Like, you know, those cool silver-haired protagonists that like they're usually at like on top of like skyscrapers and rooftops. That's why like
they would exist in Kerning City.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You know, the edgelord types, because, you know, I played MapleStory and I was an assassin in MapleStory. So I just brought it all together and I made a wolf as like my mascot. And then I made a wolf cub, the mascot for my brand, because it just felt on brand, you know?
Right, and it's cute. And a lot of your stickers are like very cute.
Mm-hmm. Those actually, part of the concept for my brand, they're all chibis. They're actually meant to all be like chibified. Because I really like the idea of like SD Gundams or like MapleStory. They all had like big heads.
Yeah.
So I thought I really like this style. So that's why everything I have is like, you know, kind of chubbier versions of like the actual thing. Like, I don't know if you've seen my latest designs, like my Monster Hunter ones. It's like a chubby Rathalos or a chubby Zenogre or something. Or like if you look at like my MapleStory stuff, they're actually more rounder than they should be because it was on purpose.
Gotcha.
So the concept was to make things chibi.
Was it hard to find an artist to do the styles that you want?
Funny enough, it hit me the second I saw MT Sugar. I saw her art style and I thought, wait, she could definitely do it the way I want.
Were you friends with her at that point?
No, I just walked up and like reached
What?
out. Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Dang.
No, actually, well, she had already followed me on Instagram.
Yeah.
She followed me on Instagram just randomly and I followed her back, but I looked at her art style and I thought, she does really cute chibi stuff.
It's crazy how small of a world that is because they're friends with Javi.
Yeah.
And so like there was the full circle.
Like everyone was already connected in one sort of way.
Yeah.
I actually saw them at Evo for the first time. I walked up at Evo and I saw her booth and I saw her art and I thought, wow, wait, I really like this. I like the style.
Yeah.
So I didn't talk to her then because at that point, I think I was still in my phase of just like going out everywhere and hanging out and just enjoying my time. Because that was directly during the time where I didn't have internet.
Yeah.
It wasn't until TwitchCon that I walked up and actually introduced myself and said hi, even though we were already Instagram mutuals. And I asked her if she did commissions.
TwitchCon Vegas?
No, San Diego. Yeah.
Okay, so this was
23.
23.
Yeah.
24? No.
3.
3 was back in San Diego. 22 was in Vegas. One of it had to be in Vegas.
2.
2.
2 was in San Diego, yes.
23 was in
3
Vegas.
was Vegas. Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Sorry,
okay.
2022.
Yeah.
I asked her if she did commissions, and she said yeah. So I said, oh, I'll message you on Instagram afterwards, and that's how the whole thing spiraled from there too.
Wow. And now like y'all are just always like together at
full
booths,
on
right?
business partners at this point.
Is that how it works? Like she gets a spot, and then you're able to like be in that with her as like a dual booth situation? Do most conventions like understand that, or what? How does that work?
I mean, realistically, it's very under the table kind of vibes. It's like you're not supposed to share, to be honest, for a lot of events. Some events they're like, you know, they're aware of it. Some of them don't know.
Yeah.
But the kicker for us is that she draws my stuff, so she is the artist.
Oh, that's right. It's just it's like a sub brand. It's like a DBA,
It's her
doing business as.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because if we were to put it that way, like she drew it, it's her stuff.
Right.
She can sell it. She can legally sell it.
Yeah. It's her booth, but it's like you just split it in half, and one section looks different than the other. But there's
Even then, it doesn't because we've done it in a way where it looks like one cohesive booth.
Yeah. I mean, well, you're blue, she's brown.
No. We when we share it, half the time it's only her stuff. Like it's only her theming, but my stuff is in there.
Gotcha.
But because she drew it all, it looks the same.
Yeah. I mean, yes, it does look the same.
Yeah. So it just like it made sense. It was easier. We basically have it where it looks like we're a studio. We're actually in the process of probably making a new DBA.
Really?
And having an official studio in the future.
Yeah.
For like both of ours. So that way it's even more official.
Right. I mean, you call her your business partner. So honestly, I don't even see anything wrong with it.
Exactly. Yeah. It's just, for logistics. Especially when you apply to events, you have to have like it's the nuance.
Right.
You know, you're
But
trying
it's,
to
it's
make sure you're
helpful
doing it by
too
the book.
because that means you have someone. What do they call proxying? Is that the
Proxying, yeah.
term?
Yeah.
Right. So sometimes when you need to go out to events
Mhm.
and like with us and we talk to people, like she can kind of be there for you.
Mhm.
If she or like Kevin needs to, or Kevin sometimes comes, like you guys have people covering the whole time whenever you guys need to take meetings or whatnot.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, yeah, over time, as we were working on things, it made more sense to be, excuse me, it made more sense to do things together versus separately. Because we were just, I was applying by myself and she was applying by herself and we'd do events separately. But like, we learned that it was easier if we just kind of combine things here and there. Like, nowadays, sometimes I do events on my own in NorCal or she does events in SoCal, but we both have each other's stuff.
Yeah.
So we're both selling at the same place. Or like,
Gotcha.
I went to Chicago like just 3 weeks ago to do ASUN and I did it for both of us.
Right.
But it was under her name, but she drew my stuff too. So like I was proxying for her, quote unquote, but my stuff was being sold as well. There's a lot to it, and in reality, I'm not even sure if a lot of this should be public knowledge, but like it works out for us. Yeah, we found a way to make it work.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Speaking about something that might not be too comfortable to talk about, and this part we could completely cut out if need be. What are you like scared or worried at all that a lot of the stickers that you have are based off of other people's IPs?
Okay. Yeah. No, this one is
Because I know that that's like literally the hidden like well-known secret. It's not even hidden. It's like
it's the gray area
it's
that
the
everyone
well-known secret of Artist Alley that
Yeah.
everybody uses
other IPs.
other IPs.
So obviously the legality of it is that no, we're not supposed to, right?
Yeah.
You're not supposed to use any IP of some that you don't own, and that's why things get really dicey. But because Artist Alley is such a gray area when it comes to conventions, that people overlook it. But obviously, there's going to be some companies that are real hard asses about it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to name them for this.
We kind of know. Everybody kind of knows. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, I heard from other companies. I will also not name them. But they're like, you know, we actually don't care because it's free marketing for us.
Exactly.
And it would cost them more
to
do
pursue about it.
Yeah.
And I've talked to people of a certain occupation who gave me like advice on it. And they're like, yeah, it's for the general idea, and technically this is not advice. This is just what they said, knowing the information they know. I'm sorry, I'm being really vague because I don't want to put anyone on the spot. They said like, yeah, you probably won't be on anyone's radar to a certain degree.
Most likely not. Yeah.
And because there's so many people of different sizes that do the same thing, it's like, you know, it's not something you really need to worry about. But in the event you want to like really brand yourself and be like a big known individual IP, that's when you should really start like buying licenses.
We have some friends that own
clothing shops,
businesses and stuff like that.
And
and I've noticed that either one, they actually get the official license to start doing it nowadays, like as they become I guess like more mature businesses, and they can scale, or they just move away from that completely, and they just start creating their own characters and their own IP, or just making more like just vague anime characters rather than stuff that's inspired or like directly a character from something existing.
So like well-known topic amongst like the entirety of like anime convention vendors and artists is that most people who started out with, you know, other people's IPs.
Yeah.
Some brands that we're familiar with, even they started out as like an anime t-shirt company or something.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until 4 years later, after they built up a following, that they completely rebranded. Something like that. You
know what's crazy? Like that's kind of the whole like, if we call it like the nerd culture industry in general.
Yeah.
Like that's like streaming content creation, right? It's all based on other people's IPs, and I don't know if a lot of like creators know this, but like legally they're also in a gray zone. Playing other people's games, like live streaming and making money from it. It's just that they don't pursue it. But there have been cases in the past where you know, brands or publishers have decided to do takedowns of creators that they feel like don't represent their brands well and stuff like that, right? So like they still get to choose, they just choose not to do anything about it because it's free marketing.
Yep.
But you know, no point in writing up a huge contract and working with every creator under the sun because that's just way too much.
Yeah.
And that comes with like democratization of like video cameras like this, of being able to like stream. Everyone can create, and there's a platforms where everyone can upload. You know, so the whole content world is just built off of people using other people's IPs to kick themselves off.
Exactly. And because of this, it's not something that I personally really worry about right now. Although, genuinely, when I started, it was a huge factor.
Yeah.
Actually, in the very beginning, I was so scared of the idea of using another person's IP that I initially only made original IPs for my brand. It was based off of concepts that were pretty well known. Like, for instance, my Chinese Zodiac series, or I started making my Asian mythological creature series based on like, you know, the four corners of the world, like I forgot what they're called.
Oh, the vermilion.
The vermilion
turtle.
bird, the black tortoise, the white wolf. Oh, sorry, white tiger, and the azure dragon.
Yeah.
God, it's so weird calling them in their English names. But I built it based off of folklore that technically no one has rights to. Right. So
that's just culture.
Exactly. So I thought if I made stuff like that, that's relatively well known, and people would be like, "Oh, this is kind of cool. Like, I like the way you interpreted, you know, this character." Because I was gonna make like Monkey King and all these other characters too. But the problem is it's really hard to sell stuff that's original because you have to be really good at marketing. I was unable to sell my own products because even though I have a degree in marketing, my degree is from traditional marketing. Billboards, flyers, telephone marketing, etc. I learned all of that.
Yeah, paid advertisement.
Yeah. TV ads and stuff like that. But the new age of marketing, anybody can pick up marketing nowadays because it's so prevalent in our culture. Everyone uses social media. Everybody knows what TikTok and Instagram is. Right. That's the new wave of marketing. But that's not something you learn in school, not in 2010. So I was really bad at marketing my own brand. I still am pretty bad at marketing my brand. The only reason my brand gets any awareness is because I do so much anime conventions and whatnot. And that's technically in line with traditional marketing still, because going to trade show and events, that was one of the ways that you were taught to market your brand.
Yeah.
So I'm still kind of a boomer in that sense where I'm still thinking of like traditional marketing methods. But I do need to start working on making videos for my brand, which I've yet to do. I still make thirst trap content versus I should be making more content for my brand.
Yeah. And that's something like I've said it, all of our friends have we're just, you know, it's like the same story as when you first started on Twitch. Like everyone's trying to encourage you to really just like, you know, take the leap, right? And go make the content based off of the stuff that you actually want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just more of a...
Do you think it's easier now though that like, sorry to interrupt, but now that you're like financially like better because you are breaking even, making a little bit more money here and there at these conventions, does it feel easier to make that transition away from thirst trap content?
It's definitely easier to do, like mindset wise, but as far as my my workload, it's hard. I'm actually so much more busier than I ever have been because I'm home maybe like 1 week out of the month, every month.
Yeah.
Or like I'm always just so tired from trying to attempt to stream in between all of my traveling. And also trying to work on my business is just a whole nother thing where I'm constantly just working on it. It's not like I'm doing anything crazy, but it's just the logistics and the actual work just takes so much time. Like sleeving all of my stickers or like organizing all of my stuff or putting in orders, et cetera, et cetera. Like all of that takes like a good amount of time. And I get so tired from all of these menial tasks that I get tired, you know. I just want a game or something like that. So I haven't really put in too much effort into making content. It's the thought process is I'll get one thing done at a time. Once I'm done with this, then I can work on this. And once this is done, then I'll do this.
Yeah.
But I'm still stuck on this because I haven't had the time to work on this. double-edged sword. There's a lot going on. A lot of people keep saying I should get an assistant, but like I can't afford it, you know? It's a work in progress kind of thing. Because I want to try to keep up with content, but I also have my business I have to run. And I also need to take better care of myself. You know, actually, before I saw you, or before this week, 2 weeks ago, I went to the hospital.
Again?
Again. Yeah.
Panic
Not even
attack?
joking. Not even panic attack. I did 2 events back to back.
Yeah.
And prior to that, I was working for my old company. They needed help. So like they hired me part-time for a week. And I worked a full-time week for them. Then after that, I flew to Chicago, did that event, flew home, had like half a day of rest and did Fanime. At the end of Fanime, I got extremely sick. I actually overworked myself so badly that I had a major fever and like my body was just completely exhausted. So I woke up in the morning with 106-degree fever.
Jeez.
It was so bad. I woke up and I was like, oh, what's wrong? Why do I feel so weird? Like my head is spinning. My eyes couldn't like focus. I tried to get up and I fell. I was like, holy shit, wait, am I dying? Like what's going on? I was so scared. I got a thermometer and I checked. It was like 105.7 or something like that. And it was just like I was burning up so bad. Like I should go to the hospital. I was genuinely so scared for my life.
Yeah.
I like rushed to the hospital, or I woke up my parents and my brother, who thankfully were all actually already awake. I told them I was not feeling great, and then my brother like drove me to the hospital. The whole time I was holding like ice bags to my head. I was drinking lots of fluids. I was getting like a towel to like pat me down to cool down. I was like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I just know my fever's really bad and I'm like
Yeah.
out of it. I went to the hospital and I actually got better instantly by the time I got to the hospital. And I guess I was just really scared and really freaking out because by the time I got to the hospital and we checked my temperature again, I had gone down to 98, which was relatively okay. Yeah. So it was more or less kind of a false alarm. I sat there, they gave me a COVID test, they gave me a flu test, they checked different things and they said, you're fine. You just had a really bad fever. You were probably overworked is what they literally said to me. I'm like,
Yeah. So what
That
is your
sounds about right.
plans, I guess, like now that I don't know, was that a wake-up call?
no, because this is the 3rd time I've been to the hospital in
Yeah,
like a
I was
year.
about to be like, maybe that was a wake-up call. Then I remembered how many times you've told me you went to the hospital. So, but do you have any thoughts about maybe changing things up for your health's sake? Because if you're out of commission, right?
Then
And I
none
remember
of this
getting
is
COVID, dude.
possible.
It feels
Yeah.
so bad. You can't get anything done. That's on the work side. On the personal side, it just worries everybody.
Yeah. So overall, I think something I definitely need to prioritize on top of trying to keep everything afloat is I need to prioritize my health. That's why I was considering to get into pickleball actually. That's
Yeah.
why
Because you used to play badminton.
I play badminton, but I haven't played in years because I just haven't had the ability to, time, nobody's interested anymore. So I haven't done anything active. Like the only active thing I do is carry my luggages to an airport and back, you know?
Yeah.
So it's a wake-up call. I'm getting older. I'm almost mid-30s, you know? Like I need to do something about like my health. So that's why I thought maybe pickleball might be a good idea. That's why last Friday happened. Joe only went because I told him I was going to do it. He was like, oh, I'm going to come too.
Oh, okay. So we're going in 2 days.
Yeah,
Oh, no,
no.
no, you're gone.
I'm gone. Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to go.
Yeah.
I would change my flight to go, honestly, but I don't think I should.
I guess since we're like kind of at the present moment right now, I kind of wanted, before I talk about like your future plans for your brand, for your content and stuff like that, like how has your relationships changed over time? Because you've been in the scene for so long as a worker, as a streamer, as a TikToker, content creator, and now like as a business owner who's still doing content and trying to figure yourself out. Like, what do those relationships look like?
It's been such a vast change from when I started until now. Because at the start, you know, initially I was like working a regular job. I was in the anime community, the gaming community and everything. And all of my friends know me as this like wallflower, introverted guy who, you know, I'm very much the same. When we hang out, when we go to events and stuff like that, you see it. I'm just kind of like there, or I'm like I'm like, okay, I can talk to people, but I'm not like I'm not the center of attention or anything like that.
Yeah.
When I started streaming and everyone saw me act the way I do on stream, or when I started making content, and obviously thirst trap content is, it's like the equivalent of like being a pick me. You know, you're trying to get attention. People were like, "What's going on with you? Why are you acting this way? Why are you so insufferable? Why are you so different? Stop trying to be cool. You know, you're not fooling anybody." And then I had this like huge disconnect, or like I had two different groups of people at that point, of my friend groups, like two different groups who thought, one group thought that I was trying too hard to be cool and try to bring up my social status, while the other group was being supportive. They're like, "Oh my God, dude, we see all the work you're putting into it, and like, you know, you've really put in the effort to try to make something for yourself." So it's like I had the people who didn't like it and the people who supported me. And then it's sad because like there was a clear distinction between the two groups. The people that support me are people who already understand the culture and understand like what I'm doing. The people who kind of like like gave me the cold shoulder, they're people who aren't really in the industry, and they just think that I'm just vying for attention. They don't think that I'm doing it for work's sake. They think that I just want to up my social status and just be popular.
Because they don't know the business behind it.
Not really, no.
Yeah.
Even if they do, they still think that I could do it in a better way or something like that. Is what went on in those talks. So unfortunately for me, the group that didn't like it, they were a lot of my closer friends, because, you know, I guess you can say in the creative space, I just kind of met a lot of different people. Like I met Kenson and Joe and everyone, and they're actually my closest friends when it comes to this space. But there was a lot more people, because of the overlap, in the anime and gaming community that I was just complete normal friends with, and they all just kind of thought I changed as a person.
Yeah.
And so I got really busy because I was constantly juggling all this work, and, you know, from streaming to starting my own business and all of this stuff, you know, I barely have time to like rest. So like people thought I was becoming a different person. B, I barely reached out or, you know, tried to be a friend to someone, as people would say.
It is hard in the space to kind of be, I guess, like what people normally consider like what friends normally would do, right?
Yeah.
Reach out a lot and stuff like that, because we're all like working on our own thing.
Yeah. And people were just outright thinking that I had changed as a person, so they didn't like me anymore for who I was. So I wasn't able to connect to them. Like nothing I could have said would make things better.
Yeah.
Because even when I tried to like explain the reasoning behind like the way I do things, or like why I'm suddenly unable to do all these things, or, you know, the change in my behavior online versus online or offline, etc. Nothing really mattered. It felt like it was set in stone. People just had this perception of me that I couldn't really just shake off, because like I can't say they're wrong, because yeah, it's on the internet. You see the stuff I do. You see the videos I post, or even like the way I talk on stream. Like it's there. Like I know what I'm doing, but it's like I'm doing it because it's just more of it's like a concept. I'm just trying to succeed in this space. But yeah, over time I lost a lot of friends. And because of it, obviously, I was very emotional too, because like, you know, I felt like it was unfair to be treated like this. So I also lashed out and had these issues. Nobody's perfect. I made a bunch of mistakes at the same time because of all these things happening. It went to my head.
Yeah.
There was so much going on. Like I thought, you know, people are just jealous or something like that. Maybe. Yeah. Nobody's jealous.
Right.
Everyone is genuinely just like, they have their own perceptions of it. And me being overwhelmed by all of this, I just had to like cut everything off. It was just, I wasn't able to completely talk out everything with the people who saw me this way. Like
Yeah.
it was just like you either understood or you didn't understand because I have so much going on. The mental strain it put me under, it was like I wasn't able to save like my relations with a bunch of people.
Yeah, I think that's kind of like that sums up a lot of creators, you know, because we're always on, we're always trying new things, and it's either like you kind of understand what we're doing or you don't, and we have to come to terms with it because not everyone's gonna agree or perceive it as a positive.
It was also under the idea like I met a lot of people who were in other people's mind, they were thinking, oh yeah, you met cooler people. You met all these like creatives and all these like prolific people that you're friends with now,
Yeah.
and you don't hang out with us anymore, or like you're not cool with us anymore. Like, but it wasn't so much that I just refused to hang out with you guys or anything. It was just like we were going to the same events. Like obviously would be hanging out at that event or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I kind of realized too as I started growing older and started sometimes connecting with older friends from college and sometimes not. It's not like, you know, at least in my situation, right? The friends that I still talk with, but only kind of every so often. It's not that like we aren't friends anymore, or it's not even like we're not close friends because I could still talk to them as if like, I mean, we are close friends, right?
Right.
So it's like we're still in college, but the thing is, our life took different paths.
Exactly.
One lives in New York and works in corporate. I travel all over the place, and so I will naturally just talk to the people that I see more often. It's like when I come down here,
Yeah.
it's gonna be this group,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
If I'm in fighting games, I have a fighting game group.
Yeah. So it's like I was starting to be seen as a person who was like quote unquote clout chasing because all the events I was going to, all the people I were hanging out with just happened to be in those groups who were these prolific people that other people thought that I was just trying to be cool with because I was trying to raise my status. But it was more of the fact that like I was just hanging out with people that I am going to the same events with or that I'm cool with.
Yeah.
And we just happened to be there. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
there was
And you know what's funny? It's like those like super prolific cool people.
Yeah.
They're just like
Normal
kind of
people.
normal.
Yeah.
Too. Like I kind of figured that out after being starstruck like, you know, a good handful of times and
Yeah.
sometimes getting nervous.
Yeah.
But once you actually get into those rooms and you sit down and you talk to them, and sometimes it's just awkward because there's like literally nothing to talk about because that's just what people do. Like if
Yeah.
you have two strangers, like you don't know how to talk to each
Yeah,
other.
exactly. So-
No one thinks they're cool. I mean, I have actually met some people who think they're way too cool for everybody.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, of course, right?
It's gonna
But
happen.
but for the most part, like they're just
Yeah.
people.
It just happens to be that this is the scene that we're in.
Yeah.
And it's not like anybody thinks of themselves, or maybe some people. Yeah, like you said, some people do probably think of themselves really highly, but like you're just meeting a bunch of people in this scene. It's not like I'm trying to specifically, can you introduce me to this guy? I really want to be really cool with this guy. It's more like we just met, we're cool, we're hanging out, that's it.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
You know, some people are also in our scene, like sometimes defensive because they have to be because of so many bad interactions.
No.
Do you find yourself sometimes being defensive around like strangers or people who try to get close to you because of the parasocial stuff that happened to you before?
I definitely try to keep a certain line, especially amongst, I guess, viewers. I think in the past I've had too many issues where people started getting too close or people started thinking they were close. And that made it really uncomfortable for other viewers or for myself, for example. And I realized over time I had to find a more consistent, like I needed a system on how I wanted to really interact with like viewers or just like random people that I meet through my content, I guess. Mostly to like protect myself.
Yeah.
Myself, but also importantly to protect my friends who would evidently be, they would be affected because of me, you know? So like a lot of people,
right.
like say for example, oh sorry. Should you move the card first?
No, I think we got like a good
5 minutes.
five
Okay.
more minutes. Yeah.
For example, let's say like people kept trying to add me on Facebook and I would get hounded for it. People would be like, excuse me, sir, why aren't you accepting my friend request on Facebook? We're friends. We talk on your stream all the time. Why aren't you adding me back on Facebook? And I'm saying like, I'm sorry, but I have a duty to protect my friends who are also on Facebook, because if you add me, you'll see my friends list or you'll see the posts from other people. Sometimes people have their real names on Facebook and they don't want people to see that.
Dude, yeah, like a lot of our cosplayer friends. Once we
Exactly.
started like becoming friends on Facebook, I'm like, oh, I see. Yeah,
yeah.
It could get kind of creepy.
Exactly. And like a lot of my friends are VTubers. You'll know their real names and faces if you see them. Like I can't just disclose information out of nowhere. That's why I keep my Facebook private. You know, I don't add anyone unless like we're actually friends in the same scene. It makes it easier if you're in the scene, because then like, you know, there's the mindset behind it. But if you're just a random viewer and you found me on Facebook just by chance and you try to add me, like I'm not gonna accept the ad, you know. And so there was stuff like that going on. There were people who would message me and say like, hey, you know, I'm gonna be in the area. You better come hang out with me when you're in the area too. I'm like,
Oh, using that language, you better.
yeah, like we're not close like that. Like, yeah, I talk to you guys casually on stream, but like we're not like best friends or something like that. I barely have time to actually see my friends, you know? So I had a lot of that going on, and I tried very hard to put that line down and be like, hey, this is how it's going to be. Like, I appreciate you guys, but we're not in that kind of relationship. I mean, it depends. Maybe like you stick around for a really long time, like maybe you become my mod, or even you just talk to me over time and we click, or maybe we grab lunch or something just because I felt comfortable to do so. Yeah, you know, it could potentially
But those
lead to
relationships
that.
take time.
Exactly.
Especially when it's like not like normal the way it happened.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like people need to understand that fact more, I think. But yeah, no, it stemmed from a really bad situation I had in the past. And that was when I decided, yep, this is it. I have to create a system. I have to definitely be uptight about this. Because I think I told you this story before, where I had a person who came out to me saying that they wanted to unalive.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was when things got too brutal for me.
Yeah, and you hear that about like streamers talk about that on Twitter sometimes, where they're like, hey, I'm not a mental health professional. You can't just come in here. Like, when I say you can't just, like, we feel for you. And we were empathetic to the situation as a person. But also, as a person, that's scary because we don't even know you. And also, we don't know what to do.
We're not equipped to deal with this. We're not like we're not a hotline that can give you resources. We're a person on the internet who just kind of like chats. And it didn't help that they were underage.
Right.
So it was even more scary for me. I was like,
It's because of these, like now like nowadays, like streaming is way more developed, but that's why we have all these rules, right?
Yeah,
like 18 plus, not just because, you know, like you're making adult content or whatever. No, it's just because we literally just rather interact with adults for everybody's safety.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially with the idea like people should hide their ages on the internet, especially if you're young. Like you shouldn't just outright say like, yeah, I'm 12 or something like that. Like then you're not even allowed on this platform, I think, actually. I think you have to be 14 to be on Twitch. I forget.
I forgot to.
I forgot the required age. But like, yeah, it was eye-opening. That was the eye-opening moment for me where I had to, I guess, evidently build a wall between me and my followers.
I guess before I move the car, would you say your relationships nowadays, like present day,
with viewers,
with not only with viewers but just like with people in general, like you know your group of friends, right? And the creators that you hang out with, would you say it's a lot better now? And
I say I definitely have put myself in a much more comfortable place with like relationships with friends and with viewers and whatnot, where like I've been very vocal about my stance about what I do with streaming, and I've been vocal about my stance for my own personality with my friends, I guess you can say. Like, hey, you know, you got to understand, I'm probably not going to be around a lot, or like, you know, I do want to hang out, but I do all these things. You have to understand, if you want to play games with me, half the time I'll be streaming it, et cetera, et cetera. Like a lot of people are much more understanding of this now. The people who stuck around with me are the ones who understand. So I'm much more comfortable, and it's no longer too much of a mental strain on me as it was before.
So it's like growing pains.
Yeah, because before it was just, I was trying to juggle between like trying to keep my friends versus trying to make a living, I guess. And nowadays it's more like, I can kind of freely work the way I want to because everyone who's still in my life understands how my life kind of works. And it's been much more comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, no. We could close it out in 8 minutes. I only wanted to talk to you about like the future now, like just kind of like
What's going on
what's
forward?
going on moving forward, right? Today it's June 11th, 2025. We have I can't count how many more months. 6 more months because it's 6. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have 6 more months. What are you trying to do before the year ends, and how are you trying to how are you trying to set yourself up for the next year?
So my big plan for this year is that I would like to get myself out of financial debt. The biggest thing is that I've been working on my business, and because of all of these financial constraints, you know, from tariffs to even like our economy right now is not really on the best shape. I'm trying my best to put myself in a position where I can be able to comfortably move into the next year. I did want to move, but that's not something I can think about until maybe late next year because of my current financial status. So the goal is build up my small business, WoWoCo, keep working on it to a point where I can start growing it and be able to make consistent income. I would like to start pushing into content. You know, I've been talking about this for a while where I wanted to build content that is more, I don't think reachable is the word, discoverable for people, especially because I'm out all the time. I can't stream as much as I used to, and I was known as the person who streamed like 8 hours a day. I want to put out more content so that even if I'm not able to stream, I'll still be able to have something out there for like the viewers or to be able to build my own platform. So I want to make content. I want to make like legitimate YouTube videos or even just make more shorts that are maybe more podcast-like, I guess, or just more talking head videos. We'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, content's main focus, working on the business still, my finances, and quite last, like the most important one is build up my health. Because especially while doing all of this, I'm so burnt out all the time. And just I'm always getting overworked. I went to the hospital 3 times in a year.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I definitely want to work on like my physical health. And I guess honestly, lastly, it's try to keep up with my social relations. You know, this week actually, I spent the entire week just trying my best to reach out to anybody I could. Well, not anybody. Reach out to everybody I really want to talk to first. I really wanted to make sure that I didn't just lose my friendships with people again.
Yeah.
So I want to have a good mix of both because not only for like my mental health, but just like, you know, just I don't want to put myself in that like that not shell in that position anymore. I wanted to be able to actually do everything properly this time. Yeah, those are the things for end of this year, moving into next year. I'd like to be able to continue to establish good relations with everyone, build up the business to hopefully make realistic profit.
Yeah.
And
do you have a number for that? Like a dream number for like a realistic dream number?
like an annual number or like a monthly number?
Like a monthly number to like make yourself feel comfortable.
At least like 15 to 20K a month.
Okay.
I know that sounds kind of like absurd, but it's because
No, I think that's doable. Yeah.
that's doable, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you didn't say you didn't say like, you know, 6 figures per month.
No. It's definitely not anything like that. It's just more like if I could make at least 5 figures a month, I think that would definitely make things easier, especially for me to like get out of debt and then hopefully be able to move into a bigger place. I would like to move to SoCal someday.
Okay, I was about to say Bay or stay here. Yeah.
Yeah, at least.
I mean, yeah, stay in Bay or come here.
Come here.
Yeah.
I mean, Vegas was the other idea too, but I think SoCal would be much more comfortable for me if I were able to move.
Cool.
Yeah.
Lastly, where would people find you?
People can find me on Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, and everything is under WoWoWong. So it's WO_WO_Wong, WONG. Except for Twitch. Ironically, Twitch is just straight up WoWoWong without underscores. When I made my socials, WoWoWong was taken.
Awesome. All right. Thanks for talking with me, man.
Yeah. Well, it was good catching up, honestly, if
Cool.
anything.
Yeah, it was really good. And I got to hear a lot of like sides of the stories I didn't know about before, so that was cool.
Yeah, there was quite a lot more. Yeah.
All right, now I gotta go move the car.
Yep.
Bye, guys.